It's October 27th, 2025. This is part 3 of Deep Focus, featuring my guest, Brian Charette, and our topic is Larry Young. I'm your host, Mitch Goldman. If you did not hear parts 1 and 2, you know what I'm going to say if you're a regular Deep Focus listener, but really, you could just start right here. This is actually a good place to start. We're really having a big change of gears right at this moment. The first 2 hours, we were focusing on these just very open jam sessions, studio jams between our star organist, Larry Young, and Jimi Hendrix. Just a moment of musical confluence in New York between these two magnificent, utterly distinct beings. And very interesting hearing them pushing each other and driving the music forward and creating something new and very much alive between the two of them. And we're moving to a live band performance by a very different group, Tony Williams' Lifetime, on tour in Europe. So, yeah, go back and hear parts 1 and 2 if you haven't heard them. If you heard them, maybe you want to go back and listen to them again because they're great. But this is wholly other. New animal, but still brilliant insights from my guest, Brian Charette. Find yourself some Larry Young recordings to add to your collection. Find yourself some Brian Charette albums to listen to. And sure, definitely some Tony Williams. All three of those having very different recordings across the arc of their respective careers. So, yeah, and some of it you might like better than others. So push deep. Okay, here we go. It's Deep Focus. This is part 3. Brian Charette on the topic of Larry Young and Deep Focus. Cool. As Jimmy would say, no buttons to push. So we're going to, much nice as it has been to have Jimi Hendrix in the studio with us for the last couple hours. Jimmy, we're going to let you go. Get on with what you were doing.
We'll call you.
We'll definitely call you. You have great potential. There's another band that Larry Young was part of, and I got to say, it's a thrill to turn our attention to that band, too. I mean, there are no wrong answers tonight. The answer to every question on the test is yes. Brian, I handed you a little slip with this.
Is it this?
November 7th, 71.
Yeah, I got it.
You want to tell the folks where we're going?
Okay, this is June of 71.
Oh, that one's great, too.
Let me get mine.
This is a few months later, November 71. We might get to
I got it,
7th.
November 7th?
Yeah, man.
Uh-huh.
So what's going on? Where are we? What are we doing?
Berliner Jazztage, Berlin, Germany, where I'll be next month as well.
Yep. I want to hear. I know you said, whatever, we don't have to talk about it.
I love Berlin. It's so wild.
It always has been, I'm sure, since well before our time, but even still today.
So this is Larry Young on organ. Ted Dunbar, I think, who is also from Newark, who played on all Don Patterson later albums. And he taught at Rutgers? I think so. Junie Booth on bass, who used to hang out until very recently at New Blue in East Village. He was a super cool guy. And Tony Williams on drums and vocals.
So, this is Tony Williams' Lifetime. And this band, this Tony Williams, people knew as a drummer from, among other things, playing with Miles Davis, great second quintet. And he split off and did his first electric, what emerged later to be known as fusion.
Yeah.
Before Miles Davis did. People like to think of Miles as the great progenitor of that music. I think Tony Williams was getting into it before Miles was.
Interesting.
And that first album, Larry Young was part of the foundation of that band, along with John McLaughlin, who Larry Young was recording with at the time that those Jimi Hendrix sessions happened at the record plant. So Tony Williams really lit it on fire with this new format of this band. Later, the first, I can't remember if we were saying this on mic or off.
Jack Bruce played bass.
Jack Bruce was the fourth member to join, and then it sort of shredded apart a little bit, and some new voices came in. So this is that kind of next generation of Lifetime, but still quite a band. And Larry Young, we're going to hear, is taking things in some very
This
different...
is very full throttle.
Yeah, really interesting. Well, you'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Lighten it up? Okay, once again, it's Deep Focus, and Mitch Goldman really delighted having Brian Charette here and focusing on... So Larry Young's not the leader of the band, but you will hear him right up front on the organ on this session from Berlin in 1971 on WKCR. We've got Tony Williams fans in the audience, because there's always Tony Williams fans in the audience. And the ones who just tuned in the middle are saying, what record is that?
Yeah.
This is a live recording from the WKCR archives, and it's a deep focus, and we're deeply focusing on organ player Larry Young. Brian Charette is here. We had an extended set of him in studio jams with Jimi Hendrix, and now we're back on the stage live. We're in, it says Berlin. We know better. It's West Berlin in November 71. And a relatively small Tony Williams lifetime, a quartet with Tony Williams quartz drums. And that is Tony on the vocals. And it's Ted Dunbar on the guitar, Junie Booth on the bass, and our man Larry Young on the organ. And I feel like we just got a little master class on the organ from Larry Young. Very different from what he'd been doing in the studio moments ago on our show, 2 years prior in Earth Time. What was going on there, man?
So he's playing more fourths on this. He's still not really using percussion. He starts out with the full drawbars pulled all the way out. And then he achieves these incredible effects by basically smushing your whole hand on the keyboard of a Hammond, creates this atonal wash. If you put the Leslie on, it makes that even more pronounced. And he's back to playing the fourths, so he's playing the same scales, but instead of being separated in thirds or being played linearly up and down a scale, he's breaking the intervals in fourths, which makes this more open, improvising style that he popularized on his Blue Note albums. So he's doing that now. And he wasn't doing any of that on the Hendrix stuff.
And he's also, you listen to, keep comparing him to Jimmy Smith for obvious reasons. Jimmy Smith's got, that's his sound, that's him.
Sure.
On the B3, you know what's coming at you. Larry Young doesn't seem to sit still for a moment.
He moves stylistically and sonically around more than almost all of the organ players. Freddie Roach does it a lot. He has a lot of different sounds. But Jimmy Smith did not really deviate. He played I would say he played 3 or 4 settings for the most part, as most of those organists did. They weren't moving the drawbars and trying to get all of these weird sounds so much. Larry is doing that on this, He's manipulating the drawbars in real time. He'll fade out all the low frequencies and you'll have kind of this high shimmer. And if he adds a little bit of Leslie, it's very effective.
I can't help thinking, and tell me if this makes sense to you or not, we know that he was getting into all this forward-looking music and playing with all these innovators who are doing new things, and there's this whole new consciousness that's coming along. And in music, on a lot of instruments, people are doing things with extended techniques and overtones and prepared instruments and invented instruments. Do you think it's kind of connected to that a little bit, the way he's...
How could it not be? It must be. Yeah. I think also the jazz guys are getting into the rock dudes really heavy.
Clearly, Tony Williams is.
Sure. So they're borrowing things from that music.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
What do you hear? What would you connect with what these guys are doing that was happening at that time? Brian, being the student of pop and jazz.
I swear to God, a few minutes in, it sounded like Emerson, Lake and Palmer to me. Tony sounded like he was playing some Carl Palmer stuff, and Larry sounded like he was playing like Keith Emerson. Keith Emerson's big guy was Jack McDuff, specifically the album Rock Candy.
Wow.
So Keith, he's actually playing a slightly different organ. He's playing an L100, so he doesn't play a B3 a lot of the time. Maybe he does on Brain Salvage Surgery, but a lot of times he's playing an L100. He has no Leslie speaker. He's going all into high watt amplifiers. So you don't hear this swirly Leslie sound with Keith Emerson a lot. He will do these windmill chops, but it's not with a spinning speaker.
Now, for those of you deep focus completists, you know that Brian and I did a deep focus on Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and which was a very revealing show.
Did you know that I knew Keith Emerson?
We talked about that.
Oh,
and you
what
hanging
a
out with
wonderful
him
man.
Yeah.
I live in Venice now in California. He lived in Santa Monica. I would see him at a popular restaurant called the Firehouse, which is on Rose, which separates Santa Monica to Venice. And we played together on a Hammond concert. That's how we met. It's actually it's a short story. Can I tell it? It's very short.
Absolutely.
So I was talking to Hammond for a while. This might have been 15 or 20 years ago. I was trying to get an endorsement deal for keyboards. I was talking to Hammond, but our negotiations had stalled for some reason. So in the meantime, Nord came to me and offered me an endorsement deal. So I was endorsing Nord keyboards, which is their biggest competitor. and I'm in the Nord booth playing, and Hammond comes.
This
is at the NAMM show,
which is the show for
a music trade show.
Yeah.
So artists who play these instruments play them for people, so that if there's new products, they get to see what they are. It's cool. It's like a big meet and greet convention. So Hammond starts coming over to me while I'm playing demos in the Nord booth, whispering in my ear, "We want you to be with Hammond," you know. And I was like, "Guys, I just got with these guys." And then they go to me, "If you sign with us, we'll put you on a concert tonight in the Marriott with Keith Emerson." So I was like, okay. So during the day, I was totally highly unethical, you know, playing for Nord during the day. I'm more comfortable at Hammond. I will always be a Hammond artist from now on.
Well, you said that was your original initial intent.
Right.
Then you tried to.
Right.
Yeah.
So we go up. NAMM closes at like 6 p.m. We go upstairs. They were having a Hammond mixer. You know, they had cheese, hors d'oeuvres,
sure,
open bar. So I'm reaching for a piece of cheese, and somebody else is reaching for some cheese, and it's Keith Emerson.
Oh, you guys have your meet cute moment.
He was a very, very soft-spoken, nice man, and we played together on the concert that night together. It was amazing.
For those of you who don't know, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, you don't hear that name so much anymore.
Yeah.
You don't hear the phrase brain salad surgery on the radio that often, which you just enunciated. They were superstars at this time. They were a full-on arena act.
Yeah.
I saw them back in the 70s in
I'm jealous.
arena.
What tour?
This was 78, 79. I don't remember them having a new album out at the time. Anyway, but they were huge. They were a huge act. So, you know, the assumption when you talk about this stuff is that, like, oh, you know, jazz act is going to be relatively tiny compared to a rock and roll act, and there's truth in that, but it's very interesting.
If you combine them both, you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something you and I have talked about a bunch on air and off, that this was this moment in music culture. There were huge audiences for interesting, complex instrumental music coming from wherever.
Yeah.
Who else might come to mind that this
Weather Report, obviously. A little bit later.
But like in 71, what are you hearing in Lifetime that people might connect to?
For sure, this band. Who else? Brian Auger, was he doing it? Maybe Oblivion Express.
Sure, yeah.
He's definitely doing it. It's a little different, but that.
We were talking off mic about Frank Zappa, not an organ-focused band, but...
I think of him as being around, 70 to 74. But he was almost more classical, you know.
Yeah.
He had and who did he hang out with? Was he hanging out with Varese, was his friend?
Yeah, that was his...
So that's very interesting, too.
Yeah, well, he was a huge influence on...
Man, I don't know if you read Moon's book, but that's very interesting.
I have not.
And that's just one perspective on Frank Zappa. But, you know, where I stay with my friend in Laurel Canyon is like 5 houses from where he used to live.
Yeah, that was a spot.
And my friend used to go out with Diva. So I never knew the Zappas, but I wish I did. He seemed like a very interesting man.
No doubt. Well, we are in West Berlin, November 7th, 71, the Jazz Tage, the festival, big Berliner music festival, and this version of Tony Williams' Lifetime, this quartet, with Ted Dunbar guitar, Junie Booth on the bass, Tony Williams, of course, on the drums and the vocals, and Larry Young on the organ, is leaving a lot of room for Larry Young sonically and creatively, I would say. And
he's sounding tip-top, too.
He sounds, his whole presentation is just vast. And I can't imagine what rehearsals were like for this band and what kinds of things Tony Williams communicated to these guys. But clearly, the brakes are not on our hero tonight. And our hero is Larry Young. He's the subject of tonight's Deep Focus, as chosen by Brian Charette. And should we go back to Berlin?
Sure.
All right. It's Deep Focus on WKCR, going back into, we're going to pick up where we left off on this piece, Life of the Party, A Changing Man. Tony Williams' Lifetime on WKCR. Getting the Berlin, that's how it ends. It wasn't
This
me.
is my favorite music from this. Well, Larry Young, like Emergency with Larry Young. I like this a lot more than the album. This is my favorite.
I dig, man. I get you. Well, let me just tell the folks, we are listening to a live recording there of Tony Williams' Lifetime. This is Berlin, 1971. And this was not a commercially released recording. There are quite a number of Tony Williams' Lifetime, different bands that he called Lifetime. And this was one. And it's Larry Young, who was the only original member of the band besides Tony Williams in this edition. And the band had only been around for a couple of years. Ted Dunbar guitar, Junie Booth on the bass, and the balance being Tony Williams on the drums and vocals, Larry Young on the organ. And we heard, if you've been with us from the beginning of the show, you get a prize. And the prize is you get to listen to this music with us. And you're hearing a very different Larry Young and a whole lot more Larry Young.
You never know it was the same person.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not like his style's different, but he's just doing so much more.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
You know, when we heard him with the Hendrix stuff, he's playing almost. He is not. I didn't hear a single extension on a chord. He's playing like root position dominant seventh chords. When we hear his chords here, they're voiced in fourths. They have lots of different notes. They can be outside of the key. He's playing very forcefully. This is some of the best Larry Young I've ever heard, and I've never heard this, what you're playing, this stuff right here. So he sounds like tip top on that. This sounds like the best Larry Young I've heard. Time is really good.
Yeah, and he's just creatively just.
I think he feels it. I think this rock backdrop suits him.
Yeah. All of a sudden, that itchy tweed suit that he was wearing on those early '60s records don't fit, and they don't. Doesn't feel right. This feels like it's his language. He's breathing in it. They're all breathing together. They're all moving together, and I hear Larry Young just like throwing.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah.
These solo sections are really interesting. He's manipulating the drawbars, so he's got all this high, washy stuff. Yeah. And you can't be any... This compared to what he played on the Hendrix stuff is just night and day. It's totally different. Like, I would not know it was the same person.
You know, I listened to the Hendrix stuff this afternoon before the show, and I remembered it being meatier than it actually was. But, yeah, I mean, it really is thrown into relief by this recording. And that's not taking anything away from Jimmy. It's totally, they're worlds apart. I mean, one's in the studio, one's in front of an audience. I mean, one's a jam that they were doing as far as we can tell for themselves. Yeah. And the other one is, proper presentation. But, yeah, there's this is a band that was built on volume for sure, but also on a lot of very spontaneous response to one another. Something I keep forgetting to tell the folks: turn it up if you want to hear it the way it might have sounded in the moment. See if you can get someplace where you can get loud. I don't know. For some people, maybe that's the car. I don't know. Find that place. Maybe it's the headphones. Maybe it's, take the dog for a walk. But get into it. Get into it. This was definitely meant to be played loud. In fact, it says that on the back of one of Tony Williams' albums, play it loud.
Does it really?
Yeah, he did say that. Well, it's Deep Focus. I'm here with Brian Charette. We are just reveling in this excellent choice of Larry Young.
It is a good choice.
We've talked about him a little bit. He left way too young. He was, I think he was 37.
Wow.
When he checked out, and there was certainly much more to be done, but he left us with quite a bit to remember him by. And we've got another brilliant archival recording. Unfortunately, that's all we have from that Berlin show. Man, I wish we had
super though
more of it. This is a different Tony Williams lifetime, still great. And take a look here with me, and tell me if there's any particular part of this that you think you might want to hear.
And this is June 71?
So this is June 71. We are in Montreux, Switzerland. And these are great festivals. All these are great festivals. Montreux's gorgeous location on the lake and the mountains in Switzerland. And
this is cool. It's got percussion on it. Two percussionists.
Two great percussionists. Yeah. Warren Smith and Don Elias, along with, of course, Tony Williams playing drums. We've got Larry Young, of course, is on the B-3. Ted Dunbar is back on guitar, and we've got Jack Bruce on the bass. Not taking anything away from Junie Booth, but Jack Bruce was the first bassist in this band.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's a great fit, and it's a beautiful recording. Anything else we want to say? We don't have to start at the beginning of the set if you want to pick a spot.
You know, I'm looking at the tracks, and I was drawn to Big Nick, who I have just learned was a saxophonist.
You know what? He used to hang out in this neighborhood.
Okay.
Back.
So there you go.
Big Nick Nicholas. Back in the 80s. Yeah.
And Coltrane was into him, right?
Coltrane. I think that's a Coltrane tune. I think he wrote that.
Yeah, he wrote that, right.
And, Coltrane was a big fan of his. He was Big Nick. Big Nick used to walk the bar. He was like one of those cats.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, he was great. Let's do it, man. Let's start with Big Nick. It's
5, I think.
Yeah. I got it. Are you ready? We're going in. It's Deep Focus on WKCR. And I am your host, Mitch Goldman. Brian Charette here with me. You're driving the bus now, Brian.
Oh, come on.
Here we go. Big Nick. It's Tony Williams' lifetime at Montreux, 1971.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and hello to Montreux, and we'd like to thank, because
You are in Montreux, Switzerland. It's summer 1971. We call this show Deep Focus. I'm your host, Mitch Goldman. Brian Charette, generous enough to bring himself up to the studios tonight during a run of world travels. Luckily, touching down briefly here in New York City.
Not for long.
Not for long. Brian Charette, two-part question. Where are you off to? A three-part. Where will people have a chance to hear you play? And how do people keep up with your global travels and activities?
It's easy. I'm easy to find. On socials, I'm Pinch Brian with an I. My website, I'm very easy to find. I am playing, I don't have tons of New York gigs because I'm getting ready to go very far away. I am playing Halloween night at Jazz on Main in Mount Kisco.
Oh, cool.
Where they have a nice organ. I'm going to play Thursday night with Oz Noy at the Bitter End.
Oh, that's a hometown gig. Come on.
Yeah. I'm playing with Mike Derubo at Django Saturday.
Nice.
Then I'm going back to Los Angeles for a few days, and I'm playing on the 4th and 5th at the Big Potato with Doug Webb, Jamie Kime, and Danny Carey of Tool.
Very cool.
Then I'm flying back Thursday to play with Oz and Dennis Chambers.
Ooh.
Who I will go the next week to the Red Sea Jazz Festival with. And I'm on the 10th at Blues Alley in Washington, D.C.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We are recording this, we're broadcasting this show on October 27th, 2025. People might be listening to it on the podcast or later rebroadcast, in which case none of that might mean that much. But if you're talking about November 2025, you are in business, wherever you might be. Brian Charette, Brian Charette, Charett, like the car.
With an E at the end.
With an E at the end. Didn't I say that?
I don't think so, but it doesn't matter.
Charette. Oh, man. I could borrow one of those from Leon's Sam Chillian.
Do you know Amanda Shires?
I don't think I do.
She's a country singer. I tell everybody to make up my name because they can't remember it. She called me Brian Who Talks to Ghosts.
Oh, that's good. Pinch Brian, Pinchbrian. And what else, man? We're hitting the wall.
No, we're good. We're good.
Brian, thank you. Thank you for coming through.
I'd love to come on your show. This is such interesting music and I didn't know this lifetime, so I have to rethink that whole thing now.
There are worlds to discover. Yeah. It's WKCR FM New York, WKCR HD, WKCR.org, 89.9 FM here in New York City. And you can also listen to this show, Deep Focus, on your favorite podcasting app. And you can subscribe, and you'll find out when this show goes up on live in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, you've got over 400 episodes to discover. So we're going to leave it right there. I'm Mitch Goldman. We are WKCR.